Alright guys, it's your boy Fetty MMA. In today's video, we got a fun one for you guys. Shout out to PFC Box 91 for giving me this idea. But I'm putting every UFC champion through the ultimate test, and it is called the Gauntlet, guys. If you don't know what the Gauntlet is, here's how it works. Each champ has to go ahead and move up a weight class and face 3 opponents. One has to be an unranked fighter. The other one has to be a ranked fighter between the rank of 6th and 15th ranked. And the last opponent has to be a ranked fighter between the 5th and championship level ranked. The real question is, if these dudes that I'm putting up to the test, can they survive the gauntlet that I'm putting them through? If I were to go ahead and be the boss of the division and put them through an absolute war of fighters to go ahead and face, can these guys make it through that gauntlet and be and get out of that room? That's the real question, guys. But enough of me talking your heads off. Like the video, subscribe. 5 likes, that's all I'm asking for. And we are on a road to 500 subscribers, so go ahead and help the cause. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. First up on the list, we have the flyweight champ of the world, Alexander Pantoja. Now, this dude has been flying through the flyweight division, beating dudes like Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval, Steve Erceg, Kaya Sakura, you name it. His body count is starting to be high. No diddy when I say that. But if he moves up to the bantamweight division, I have a gauntlet of fighters, and this will be a real troubling gauntlet for Alexander Pantoja. Now, let's go through the gauntlet that I have set for him. Now, if he moves up to the bantamweight division, I have Alexander Topuria. For your first fight, 0-0, non-ranked. And guys, this is going to be scary for Pantoja because he is the unknown. Ilia Topuria is the Goku. He has his little brother coming into the UFC, and I believe he's the Vegeta. These dudes have been training ever since they were little babies. So now Pantoja going into the octagon with a young, hungry fighter in Topuria for his first matchup, it's going to be a tough night out. Just imagine those boxing exchanges that these two dudes can have with each other. Now, I don't know much about Topuria's game. I'm not going to act like I am familiar with this game like that, but that's what I like. The same things I see from Ilia Topuria is the same thing I'm expecting from his little brother, Alexander Topuria. So that's how I'm feeling about that first matchup right there. And guys, call me crazy when I say this, but if this fight really did happen in real life, I would be putting heavy money on Topuria winning the fight. I am putting money into the Topuria name. I think that's going to be a household name when it's all said and done in the UFC, and I am going to put some stock into that name. But guys, next up on the list, we have Mario Bautista. Now guys, anybody with the last name Bautista is a guy you don't want to play with. Just look at Dave Bautista. Now you have Mario Bautista, the UFC version of the WWE version of Batista. Call me crazy, but that's how I'm feeling. A guy that can win by any means necessary. He doesn't care if he has to grapple you for 25 minutes straight, for 5 rounds straight. He will do any means necessary, and he will go ahead and look ahead for the belt. Now, guys, I think this matchup for Alexander Pantoja is a tough matchup because this dude is a tough dude on the stand-up. He's not all that with the knockout power, I will say, but Mario Bautista could just mix it all up together. What can he not do? Just tell me that. Can he not kick? Can he not throw a punch? Can he not wrestle? Can he not get off his back if he's in that position? I believe he could do it all, and he will do it by any means necessary if I were to put him in that gauntlet against a dude like Pantoja. So this is why I am taking Mario Bautista for that. And then, all right, cool. We're in a position where Pantoja happens to beat Alexander Topuria and Mario Bautista, which I don't think happens. But all right, cool. He beats those two dudes. Now you have to face the bantamweight champ of the world, the dude with a lot of big names in his body count, and Merab Dvalishvili, the dude that just recently beat Umar Nurmagomedov at UFC 311. This is who you have to face for your final gauntlet. And guys, I can guarantee you 100% he is not making it past Merab. A dude that's relentless. A dude that's going to go ahead and use his game plan, and he is not going to back away from his game plan. That's what a lot of these fighters mess up at. They don't inflict their game plan and use it all the way through. They like to kind of back away from it, and that's where they mess up at. Merab doesn't do those things, and he has the tools to go ahead and dominate 46-50 Pantoja, and this is why I'm putting Merab into the final lineup here, guys. And trust me, this was going to be my first lineup that I thought thought of right here. Now, guys, this was going to be a Daggy x Brazil type of lineup that Alexander Pantoja has to go through. But I thought about this lineup, and I wasn't too confident in this lineup. Sahih Nurmagomedov is just not that guy. He didn't show me that it factor yet. So I know Pantoja can just wash through him. So I was iffy about that. And then we have the Brazilian, the OG, and Jose Aldo. I know for sure that Pantoja wouldn't be able to take his back or be able to wrestle with them. But I think Pantoja is better than Jose Aldo in the stand-up game. So I feel like he would have been 2-0 in that department. And then Umar Nurmagomedov, number 3 ranked. We just recently seen this dude go ahead and be tired in those championship rounds. I've never seen Pantoja get tired in those championship rounds. So I felt like this was an easier task for Pantoja to win. So this is why I did not go with this lineup. But this is an honorable mention right here. Next up on the list, we have the bantamweight champ of the world, Merab Dvalishvili. This dude has been on a tear in the bantamweight division, beating everybody, beating dudes like Jose Aldo, Umar Nurmagomedov at UFC 311, Sean O'Malley for the belt. So he's been on a tear, and he is undeniably right now the bantamweight GOAT. So I think if he moves up to the featherweight division, I have a gauntlet of fighters that he should face, and I think he would lose by fighter number 2. Now, guys, call me crazy, but I have a non-ranked fighter that you guys will call me crazy about, and that is having Kron Gracie at the first option that Merab Dvalishvili has to face through this gauntlet. Now, guys, tell me another non-ranked fighter that's better than Kron Gracie in this situation right here. We have a guy in Merab Dvalishvili that loves to wrestle and is guaranteed if he fights Kron Gracie, if he moves up, he is going to wrestle Kron Gracie and take him down to the ground. Now, Bryce Mitchell made it real ugly for Kron Gracie by hitting him with a nasty elbow, and he slammed him also. So it made it look real ugly for a dude like Bryce Mitchell to do that, and Merab has the same tools to do that and more. So I will go ahead and concede to that. But let's go ahead and think about it in this scenario right here. Merab Dvalishvili takes down Kron Gracie. Kron Gracie will more than welcome that. Then we have a jiu-jitsu versus wrestling war, and I would love to see that for 5 rounds straight, because I think Kron Gracie will have a lot of moments where he will be looking real successful, and he will put Merab in a real tough, nasty situation. I don't think Merab can go through Kron Gracie in that first fight, but it's highly possible that he can go through Kron Gracie. But I still love this matchup right here if this matchup were to happen. And I will definitely put this in my gauntlet. Tell me another non-ranked fighter that's better than Kron Gracie in this situation right here. I don't give a damn, guys. But he beats Kron Gracie. Cool, we can argue that every damn day of the week. He has to face Aljamain Sterling. 24-5 Aljamain Sterling, the former bantamweight champ, his best friend, his next door neighbor, number 9th rank. He has to face that. The dude he's been training in the gym non-stop with. He has to face that up next. He looks up to Aljamain Sterling. He loves Aljamain Sterling. If you guys didn't recently hear, he called Aljamain Sterling the bantamweight GOAT. So he has to face this in my gauntlet, and I believe Aljamain Sterling will be able to take care of business to really beat Merab Dvalishvili. Then only if you can beat Kron Gracie and Aljamain Sterling, you have to finally face your Georgian friend, the dude you go to war with against the Dagestanians, and that is Ilia Topuria. Now, I'm not going to act like Merab just goes ahead and gets washed by Ilia Topuria. I think this is a coin flip up type of fight, but we all lean towards Ilia Topuria. Let's say the lines were set today. Where would you guys have the lines at? I think this will be a line set for Ilia Topuria at -175, and I will be leaning towards Ilia Topuria to finally finish that gauntlet and beat Merab Dvalishvili. He has the full package to go ahead and take care of business. He has the stand-up game, the clinch game, the striking game, and this is why I'm adding him to the final package. There were nobody else in that featherweight division that I felt was suitable enough for this action right here. I wanted to go ahead and add a Max Holloway, but I didn't feel like he was suitable. Alexander Volkanovski, you guys know how I feel about Alexander Volk. That's my boy, but Merab is just a different animal, and I don't know how Alexander Volkanovski faces towards that type of style of fighting. So the only guy that I know for sure can face it and he can go ahead and take care of business in this fight and look absolutely exceptional is Ilia Topuria, and this is why I'm adding him to the final list of the gauntlet. Next up on the list, we have the featherweight champ of the world, Ilia El Matador Topuria. Now, guys, this dude came on the scene out of nowhere. Never in a million years would I have thought this dude would beat Alexander the Great Volkanovski. It broke my heart that he beat him that night. And and then to follow it up with a Max Holloway KO, this dude is crazy. But if he moves up to the lightweight division, I think this Gauntlet will give him a run for his money. Now, I will concede to you guys, this is probably the easiest Gauntlet that's been on the list thus far. But I still like this Gauntlet. Keep in mind, I had to find a non-ranked fighter that was able to keep up with Ilia Toporia's skills, and then I had to find a fighter within the 6th and the 15th rank that was able to keep up with the skills. So if you guys can find a better fighter than what I have on this list, go ahead and challenge me. But I don't think you can. I think Michael Johnson can give Ilia Topuria a run for his money. His boxing exchanges is second to none. One of the best in the business. I think you guys forget what this dude Michael Johnson is about in the stand-up game, and this is why I'm mainly putting him into this bout right here. I'm hoping that Ilia Topuria can make this a stand-up game for Michael Johnson. And if you can do that for Michael Johnson, he has a fighter's chance to beat El Matador. I will concede he has the head movement. He has all the games to go ahead and absolutely terrorize Michael Johnson. But there's an avenue and there's a world where Michael Johnson takes care of business and he can possibly knock him out. Call me crazy, but I can see that happening in another world, and that world can be too far from this world, and that's planet Earth. I don't know. I'm trying to make it make sense, guys, so just follow me here. But next up on the list, we have 13th ranked, 14-8, Jalen Turner, a big boy. That's a real big boy. He is the size of John Jones as light heavyweight and mixed into a lightweight division. Literally, this dude is big, and I think El Matador will have real troubles off that size. Just look at Canelo versus Dimitri Bivol. I kind of look at it from that point of view. If you go ahead and have a dude like Jalen Turner versus Ilia Topuria, it's kind of like that matchup right there. I think Jalen Turner will have the size advantage. I don't think El Matador will be able to inflict his wrestling game on Jalen Turner, and Jalen Turner has an avenue of beating El Matador if he can keep this on the feet and keep this towards a clinch type of style of game right here. I think Jalen Turner will be the best dark horse in the UFC, not even within these three fighters, to beat El Matador. And if this fight did happen in real life, I wouldn't put heavy money on Jalen Turner, but some of you guys wouldn't go crazy and put some slight money on him. That's all I'm saying. I think he's perfect for the matchup right here within the 6th and 15th ranked fighters that's able to face El Matador. And I like Jalen Turner on this list right here, guys. And then last up on the list, we have Islam Makhachev. Now, guys, we all can agree that this dude Islam Makhachev can easily beat El Matador, Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria is a tough mother F. I'm not going to act like he's not. But it's levels to this. We have #1 pound for pound of the world, Islam Makhachev. He is going to easily beat this little guy, Ilia Topuria. I seen him do it to Alexander Volkanovski, and there's no reason for me to say that he can't do it against Ilia Topuria. There's no other reason for me to explain myself further than that. That's all I'm saying, guys. That's all I need to explain to you guys. You have to go through these three dudes in the gauntlet. So let's just say in the world he beats these first two dudes, which is very possible. You have to face the last dude, and that's #1 pound for pound of the world, Islam Makhachev. Good luck with that. And that is my gauntlet for the featherweight champion of the world, Ilia Topuria. Next up on the list, we have the #1 pound for pound ranked fighter of the world and the lightweight GOAT in a lot of people's eyes. Granted, BJ Penn is my personal GOAT, but that's another debatable topic for another day. We have Islam Makhachev. And guys, if you go ahead and look at this gauntlet that I have set up for Islam, we have an all-time big boy lineup right here, and probably the toughest lineup that we have on the list thus far, guys. These dudes are towering at 6'3" and up, and Islam Makhachev is walking around at 5'10". But by any means necessary, Islam isn't a little boy at all. He's 5'10", but walks around at middleweight size. But these dudes right here on the list, these dudes should be at light heavyweight size. This should be the light heavyweight division, but they're at the welterweight, guys, and this is why I am in love with this lineup. But let's go ahead and review this lineup that I have right here. We have 13-2 non-ranked Bryan Battle. And this is a weight bully Bryan Battle that I'm expecting to be in this fight. A Bryan Battle that will miss a little bit of weight by a couple of pounds and, just shrug it off the same way he did Randy Brown. This, granted, Islam Makhachev has all the tools to absolutely annihilate Bryan Battle, but I think the size factor will play a huge factor going into this fight and making things harder for Islam Makhachev to do his wrestling entries and things of that sort. And Bryan Battle could just simply use his size and his strength alone to just show his will to win the fight. Step on the gauntlet. We have a dude that's going to go ahead and represent Team Ireland. Not like how Paul Hughes went ahead and disappointed them and trashed Conor McGregor on air, on live, especially after Conor McGregor vouched that you won the fight, which was crazy, but that's another topic for another day. We have a dude that's going to represent, and he's going to represent well, and that is Ian Machado Gary, number 7th ranked, a dude that's going to go ahead and build this fight up to be impeccable, build this fight up to build pay-per-view numbers, and this guy right here's game plan is going to be absolutely disgusting because why? He's with Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira absolutely dislikes Islam Makhachev in my opinion. I really do think that even though he shows all his good love, buddy, two shoes type of vibe, he will go ahead and lock in and make sure that Islam Makhachev doesn't hold that belt. It will definitely be a fun gauntlet matchup right here, just for the simple fact that we have two countries backing their fighters up. Team Ireland versus Team Russia. We have a big dude in Ian Machado Gary that will have a huge size difference going into this fight, and he will go ahead and inflict this pain. So this is why I definitely love this fight in the second round of the gauntlet. And the final welterweight that we have on the gauntlet, and this is going to be the absolute toughest matchup for Islam Makhachev. We have Shoutout Rachmanov, the boogeyman. And guys, this is going to be a very interesting matchup. I absolutely want to see this matchup happen, so I low-key want to have Belal Muhammad lose the welterweight belt, but at the same time, I don't because I really love Belal. But let's just say in the world Belal Muhammad loses the belt, this is the welterweight matchup to make. Islam, you've been asking for that second belt. Go ahead and get it through that man, Shoutout Rachmanov. How about that? How about that? Do that. And this is why I'm putting Shoutout Rachmanov on the final list of this gauntlet right here. I believe Shoutout Rachmanov has all the tools and more to go ahead and dominate Islam Makhachev. I've seen Islam Makhachev kind of struggle and have a tough time with Alexander Volkanovski. I've seen that. So a bigger dude like Shoutout Rachmanov shouldn't be in those same positions. And this is why I'm throwing him in the final lineup in that gauntlet. And guys, don't tell me you wouldn't want to see that matchup in IRL. Don't tell me that. Next up on the list, we have Mr. Owen title defenses. Belal, remember the name Muhammad. Now, guys, he's a tough son of a bitch. Probably the toughest champion on this list right now because he's like a honey badger, guys. When you think you got him when you want him, you don't. He's going to press the issue for it, and he's going to make you hurt. You are not going to hurt him, and that's the type of guy Belal Muhammad is. But going up in this middleweight division, this gauntlet that I have set up for him, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm not the most confident in this lineup. Belal Muhammad is that good. But I'm looking at this lineup for what it is, and I'm taking them in the fire going against Belal Muhammad. I will go ahead and give them a chance because I think Reiner de Ryder goes ahead and give Belal Muhammad a run for his money. Non-ranked, 19-2, not much data put on him, but the only thing that's scary about Reiner de Ryder is his stand-up game. His defense is slow as hell. I'm not taking that Kevin Holland fight as much stock putting on him. Reiner de Ryder will be a good non-ranked fight for Belal Muhammad if that fight does happen. Belal next up on the list, number 6 ranked, 17-1. Wasn't too confident in putting Belal in this spot, but if you guys go ahead and look at the 6th through 15th rank, Belal was the best guy for this option. I couldn't put Marvin Vettori in this spot. I couldn't put Paulo Costa in this spot. Belal was the best guy. In IRL, I do think Belal Muhammad will be the favorite going into that fight, and Belal Muhammad will beat Belal going into that fight, but Belal still has a chance to beat Belal Muhammad. Don't ever sleep on Belal now, guys. But this is why I put him onto the list. He was the best option through the 6th and 15th ranked fighter. I really can't give him too much argument, guys. But the final fighter, this is why we fed him to the wolves. When you think things are looking sweet, you have to face 14-0, number 3 ranked Khamzat Chimaev. Woo! Now, guys, I will say this again. This isn't my most confident lineup. I love Hamza Chimaev in this spot beating Bilal Muhammad by a landslide. But the only thing that can make this real scary for Hamza Chimaev is going into those later rounds. Like I said, this dude Bilal Muhammad is like a honey badger. When you think you got him or you want him, that's not what it is for real. Hamza Chimaev may do his damage in the first 3 rounds, inflicting his grappling game plan. But in those championship rounds, how do Hamza Chimaev respond in terms of his gas tank? That's the question mark. And this is why Bilal Muhammad still has a good chance on beating Hamza Chimaev. And this is why I'm iffy about this lineup right here, guys. Bilal wouldn't go ahead and easily beat him. Reiner de Ryder wouldn't do it. Hamza Chimaev has the best chance to do it. But going into those championship rounds is the big question for it. So this is why this is kind of the middle of the pack type of gauntlet right here. But I still like it, though. Up on the list, we got the South African middleweight champ of the world, Dricus Du Plessis. And guys, I think I did really well with this lineup right here. You can tell me different in the comments, but you mean to tell me the first matchup that Dricus Du Plessis has to face is 18-6 non-ranked Zhang Miang? Baby Yao Ming, are you kidding me? No one wants to face a dude like that. He fits really well in the light heavyweight division for any light heavyweight in that division, let alone a middleweight like Dricus Du Plessis. He easily towers over Dricus. Have you guys ever seen Rush Hour where Chris Tucker had faced that Asian dude and then the Asian dude towered over him? I believe it's kind of one of those situations right here with Dricus Du Plessis. And I'm looking at Dricus Du Plessis as a black man. He's African, damn it. So he's a black man. He's a descendant just like us. All in all, though, the Zhang Miang guy is going to definitely give him a run for his money, and I like Zhang Miang for the first lineup of this gauntlet. Guys, Khalil Rountree makes things real interesting into this gauntlet right here. Now, if Khalil Rountree were to go ahead and face Dricus Du Plessis at the middleweight division, I think a lot of you guys will take Khalil Rountree winning that fight. I really do. So imagine Dricus Du Plessis moving up to Khalil Rountree's division, and that's the light heavyweight division. I will still take Khalil Rountree winning that fight, man. That punch power that he possesses is like no other. I thought Jared Cannonier had a second to none type of punch power, guys. I thought Arnold Allen had that too. I said Arnold Allen. Josh Emmett had that. But this dude, Khalil Rountree, is another level of punch power, man, especially after seeing that Alex Pereira fight. And I know for sure this number 7th ranked dude right here will be absolutely tough in that middleweight division, and he will be tough for Dricus Du Plessis in any division. So this is why I'm adding Khalil Rountree into this gauntlet right here. And for the final man in this gauntlet right here, we have 21-1, number 7th ranked, well, number 1 ranked Ankalaev. I don't know why I put number 7th there. I got confused. But number 1 ranked Ankalaev, the dude that's fighting Alex Pereira for the light heavyweight championship belt. He is a championship caliber type of player. So this dude right here can easily go ahead and give Dricus Du Plessis a run for his money. And I think this dude Ankalaev can easily go ahead and wash through Dricus Du Plessis. I think the awkward style of Dricus Du Plessis wouldn't play a factor at all going against Ankalaev. Ankalaev could just simply use his sambo, use his kickboxing to just go ahead and keep Dricus Du Plessis at bay and absolutely pick this dude apart like some grapes. It's that simple. No more for me to explain other than that. So I'm taking Ankalaev, the Russian, going ahead and dominating the South African. If you guys go ahead and put it by countries, who do you think are better fighters, Russians or South Africans? And guys, I'm an African descendant myself. So I will go ahead and concede to the Russians, my goddamn self, guys. All in all, I'm taking the Dagestani, Ankalaev being Dricus Du Plessis. Next up on the list, we have the light heavyweight champ of the world, Shama Alex Poitin Pereira. And guys, I put this lineup out here for one reason and one reason only. I need these dudes to go ahead and wrestle the hell out of Alex Pereira. We got 14-5 Kenny Njoku, wrestling background. He's a big boy at a 6'7" frame, walking around at like 250 plus. This is a dude that Alex Pereira will have a hard time dealing with. Granted, if these two dudes were to go ahead and face each other, the leg kicks will be a huge problem for Kenny Njoku. But there is another avenue where Kenny Njoku can take Alex Pereira, put him on his back, and work those 12-6 elbows, because those elbows that Kenny Njoku has are like knives, okay? They're like knives. And if you go ahead and flick those 12-6 elbows on Alex Pereira, it can get ugly real quick. So Kenny Njoku, non-ranked 14-5, is the first guy on the gauntlet that we're putting up on the lineup. Second guy on the gauntlet that we're putting on the lineup is Jolton Almeida, 22-3, number 6 ranked. This dude is jacked as almighty shit. This dude is buff as hell. You seen him pick up Daniel Cormier? Oh my gosh. Nobody can. There's no regular guy that's picking up Daniel Cormier like that, damn it. Jolton Almeida is doing that, so I know for sure he can go ahead and put Alex Pereira on his back easily. And I believe if Jolton Almeida stayed at the light heavyweight division, he will be the champ today. But he made a little bit of a mistake moving up to the heavyweight division. And the final guy that we have on the list, and there's no even debating it, we have Jon Jones, number 1 pound for pound GOAT of the world. And I don't need to explain this to you guys. Jon Jones is annihilating Alex Pereira in any shape, fashion of the game. If you want to stand up bout Alex Pereira, fuck it, let's do it. If you want a wrestling bout, let's do it. However you want it, Jon Jones can simply just beat Alex Pereira in those positions right here. So by any means necessary, Jon Jones, there's no passing this dude once you go ahead and try to pass through Kenny Njoku, and if he even tries to pass through Jolton Almeida, you're not getting through the champ, the number 1 pound for pound GOAT of the world, Jon Jones. Last up on the list, we got the number 1 pound for pound GOAT of the world, the heavyweight champ of the world, Jon Bones Jones. Now, guys, out of all the UFC champs that I've done on the list, I think Jon Jones has the best path to go ahead and complete this gauntlet. Facing 17-3 non-ranked Francis Ngannou. Then after that, following it up with a 23-0 heavyweight champ of the world, Alexander Usyk. And then the intercontinental champ. Why am I thinking this is WWE? The interim champ of the world, Tom Aspinall. So, out of all 3 of these dudes, I think Jon Jones can go ahead and beat all 3 of these dudes. But granted, there is an avenue where Francis Ngannou could just hit Jon Jones with one of those thumpers and then knock Jon Jones' lights out. And that's the only way I can see that fight going. There's no other ways I can explain it. Jon Jones annihilates Francis Ngannou in the wrestling, grappling department. And that's what Jon Jones specializes, and that's what he's going to more than likely do to Francis Ngannou. And then if you go ahead and look at Alexander Usyk, 23-0, boxing champ. If this was a boxing match, I'm taking Usyk any time of the day. But in the MMA bout, we all know Jon Jones will annihilate Alexander Usyk. By the way, you guys are probably thinking, why the hell are you putting Alexander Usyk into the list? He's not an MMA fighter. Guys, this is a super heavyweight bout right here, and Usyk deserves to be on this list. I don't care. This is my list, motherfucks. All in all, we're going to cap it off with the finalization of Tom Aspinall, 15-3 interim champ of the world, the guy that's under Jon Jones when it comes down to rankings. And this is the guy that wants to go ahead and overtake Jon Jones. If this fight happens, and I do think this fight is going to happen, I am betting the house on the GOAT, Jon Jones. But there's an avenue where Tom Aspinall can make this ugly in the early rounds. Tom Aspinall has been knocking a lot of his opponents out in the first 2 rounds, not really even seeing the 3rd round, barely. I don't think he's seen it once in his career. So that's the big question mark for Tom Aspinall. But early into this fight, things could get real ugly for Jon Jones. So this is why I'm putting Tom Aspinall there, because at the end of the day, we don't know how Jon Jones is really going to go and defend that boxing exchange that Tom Aspinall could definitely bring to the table. We've seen it with Dominic Reyes. Jon Jones had a tough time with it. And I just need to see it again against a tough dude like Tom Aspinall. It's simple as that. All in all, I think Jon Jones beat him. But there is an avenue where Tom Aspinall can definitely win. He is a favorite if that matchup does happen today. So he deserves to be there in this list. There's no other way to explain it. All in all, guys, you know the drill. I ain't got to tell you to, man. Like the video, subscribe, man. 5 likes is all I'm asking for, guys. I took 3 hours to go ahead and complete this video for you guys. These little pictures, these little graphics that you see right here, yeah, I took some time to go ahead and make this for you guys. So just simply like the video, help your boy out. Let's grow the community. I'm forcing you guys to go ahead and do that, by the way. I'm not asking you. Subscribe. Roll to 500 subscribers. Your boy Fetty MMA. And by the way, let me know who you think is going to complete this gauntlet. What champions do you have? Any disagreements? You guys know the drill. I'm out.